By my fourth pregnancy, I thought I would have it all figured out, but these aren't the typical morning sickness and back pain that everyone talks about. So in this video, I'm sharing the 3 early pregnancy symptoms that were most surprising to me. For each symptom, I'll share my real stories, what I did that actually helped, what I regret, and what I would do differently if I had a 5th baby. Let's start with the worst, and the one that hit me earliest on during my first pregnancy when I was only 17. It was the last few months of high school that I got pregnant, and I got thigh pain that was so bad it would collapse me or just make me unable to walk for a while. One day I actually remember trying to walk home from school. I didn't live far, but I was having to sit and lie on a bench waiting for the pain to pass until I could hopefully walk again. I remember one of my friends in my art class actually came out and was rubbing my thigh for me. She was so sweet, and my teacher ended up driving me home. It was weird because it was my first few weeks of pregnancy. There was no heavy baby sitting on anything, so it didn't quite make sense. I did see a physical therapist, but they did not specialize in pregnancy, and so they were just doing their best, telling me what stretches and exercises I could do in general for thigh pain. This pain came back every pregnancy, and each time it got worse. During pregnancies 2 and 3, I just thought that's how my body was. I had already seen professionals, and so I thought I had to tough it out, and I didn't ask for much help. However, by my 4th pregnancy, it was so intense that I finally spoke up and asked my midwife about it, who I'm so grateful explained to me that it was round ligament pain. And for the first thing that helped, she recommended a Webster certified chiropractor. This is a chiropractor who specializes in prenatal care. I found the most amazing woman who was so sweet and so gentle with me and truly helped me. I also believe that she helped my hips position better for birth. The baby was stuck on the left side, and I don't know if you're a midwife, maybe you can explain this. They're not supposed to be stuck on the left side, and she helped move my hips around, and I went into labor just a few hours later. So I highly recommend finding a Webster certified chiropractor. Now here's what I regret not doing that I would absolutely do if I got pregnant again. My midwife had also recommended that I get belly support to get that weight off. Now, I didn't listen and get it for a couple of reasons. I was already 37 weeks before I asked for help. That should be a point in itself. Don't wait till the end of your pregnancy to ask for help. But I thought, well, I only have about 3 weeks left of pregnancy. I don't want to waste money on something I'm only going to use for 3 weeks. I ended up going until 41 weeks and 3 days. So that was over 4 weeks that I ended up still carrying. And because I had experienced this pain so early on, my brain associated that it didn't have to do with the weight of the baby. But if I got pregnant again, I would absolutely be buying some kind of belly band, some kind of belly support around 20 weeks. There are 2 more things I regret not doing for the leg pain. 1, fascia rolling. I didn't learn about this until after my last pregnancy. It is a game changer. I did some research before filming this, and if you type it in on YouTube, you can find prenatal safe fascia rolling videos. There is a technique and a method to it, but I do know something as simple as rolling your feet every day can so good for you and your body and your circulation. This is going to help release the tension in that connective tissue under your skin, and that can get really tight during pregnancy. It's gentle, but makes a huge difference in circulation and discomfort and how your body is going to feel overall. My last regret that I would do differently is I would add more magnesium to my self-care routine, both topically and as a supplement. It's often recommended in pregnancy because of how important it is for muscle relaxation. I guess I didn't get more because I was thinking my prenatal already had magnesium in it, but I have learned so much more, and I realized that the magnesium I was taking in the morning our bodies use it up pretty quickly. And so you want to have some magnesium in the morning, maybe even in the afternoon, and some in the evening as well. Always double check your doses, do your research, talk with your healthcare provider. I would also do topicals, so that would be magnesium lotions and Epsom salt baths. I would have done that way more religiously. If you're having any pains, let me know what you are going through in the comments. My second most shocking symptom that still messed with me in my 4th pregnancy was brought on by my hormones. It decided to mess with my mind too. Everyone talks about postpartum depression, but nobody warned me about prenatal depression. By my 4th pregnancy, I truly thought I had it all figured out, that I was going to coast through this. I had been there and done that 3 times already, and I was at a good place in my life. I was happy, but your hormones don't care. And it's funny because when you have hormone-induced depression and anxiety, you don't have to be thinking negative thoughts necessarily. You just have the physical symptoms. For me, my depression made me stuck on the couch. I couldn't get up. My anxiety attacks were actually hitting about the same time every single day. My heart would start racing and I would get dizzy. It was so physically hard on my body that I usually needed a nap afterwards. So it was literally my routine. Depressed in the morning, trying to get myself going, finally moving, anxiety attack about 10:30, 11, and then a nap. Now, again, with talking with my midwife, I thought that it was something with my blood sugar. My entire life, I've been sensitive to sugar. I've never liked it. I think I'm just very aware of my body. I've always eaten really healthy. And so the heart beating, I actually thought was my blood sugar spiking, and blood sugar management is talked about with pregnancy a lot as well, because we hear about gestational diabetes. So I asked the nurses and the midwives, and they told me, no, your blood sugar is just fine. This is actually hormone-induced anxiety attack. This made total sense because our hormones do actually come in patterns throughout the day, just like they do throughout the months. Once I understood it was hormones and I knew that hormones go through cycles, here is what I did to help. I focused on my circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm will actually talk to your hormones. It's one of the best things you can do to balance your hormones. So yes, during pregnancy, our hormones are still going to be crazy, but what we want to do is aim for lower highs and higher lows, and just shifting that a little bit can make a big difference. So here's exactly what I did to balance my circadian rhythm. You'll be really happy. It's super easy. When you wake up in the morning, during that first 30 minutes ideally, if not the first hour, you want to make sure that you get sunlight in your eyes. So now when I have my coffee in the morning, I always step outside. I also reduced screen time at night. The blue light from our phones can disrupt our circadian rhythm. So at least 2 hours before bed, tuck your phone away. Your phone has a bedtime earlier than you do. The other thing I did is I asked my husband to help me make sure that I would move my body. I knew that that was really, really good for my mental health. I know that when I get to the gym and move my body, I'm a lot more of a happy human. I also knew that I was having depression and anxiety, and it was going to be really hard to stay on track with that. So I told him every single day, we need to be taking a walk, we need to be doing yoga. And of course, I did not do it every single day, but having that accountability and making sure I stated my goals and what was going on and talking to him about it was so helpful. The last thing I did that helped me actually falls in line with my next symptom, and that was switching coffee for adaptogens. So this was part on purpose and part not on purpose. But what switching to adaptogens does is help mood and hormone regulation. Now again, the thing I regret not doing is that viral sleepy girl cocktail. Yes, magnesium. I cannot stress that enough. It is actually very underrated. I believe it's over 200 functions in your body rely on magnesium. This includes muscle support and hormone regulation. So again, just adding that Sleepy Girl cocktail, which is a magnesium powder and some cherry juice, just adding that to my routine could have improved my mood. So that is one of my biggest things I wish I would have done, that I would absolutely do and make a priority in my pregnancy routine if I ever got pregnant again. If you're in the middle of prenatal anxiety or depression, please know that you are not alone. Again, please share in the comments. You're going to get through this. For me, as soon as I have baby, I'm better. I do not have postpartum depression. Not everybody's like that. Some people get really bad postpartum depression. And if you are going through prenatal depression, please seek support. I'm going to do another video on the top 3 pregnancy supplements. And one of those is actually going to be an omega, because that can reduce risk of postpartum depression by 30%. Ask for support, whether that is a spouse, your healthcare provider, or an online community of parents. Now, something nobody could really help me with that made everything worse, the pain, the depression, made it all worse. I had a coffee aversion. Now, if you drink coffee, you know that if your muscles hurt from going to the gym, you can drink a cup of coffee and it helps you move your body. If you're feeling a little depressed, you can drink a cup of coffee and it helps you get up. And life, right? So when all of these things were happening, I couldn't just drink a cup of coffee and make it better like I usually did. And so this is one of the reasons I switched to an adaptogen drink. I don't like cream and sugar. I actually like coffee. I like dark chocolate. I like green tea. I like red wine. I like bitter. And so I really wanted that rich, dark drink in the morning that was hot. I like to get up early when it's still cold and the AC is still running and bundle up in a sweater and have my hot drink. So I switched to a rasa. It is so delicious. I remember for a while I was drinking one called Super Happy Sunshine, and that really helped lift my mood. It had lemon balm and cacao in it. It was phenomenal. And then they had a creamer that I was using that had MCT oil and L-theanine in it. So again, those healthy fats, and L-theanine helps stabilize mood. So those were really, really helpful. The next thing that helped with the coffee version is I would leave green tea bags in a mason jar overnight in my fridge. And then after that steeped, I would add some juice, like some pineapple juice and some coconut water. And I just had myself this green tea fruit drink. Coconut water is a great source of electrolytes and hydration. Green tea naturally has L-theanine in it, so that is why green tea is a calmer caffeine. They work together synergistically, and that caffeine, slow release of caffeine versus coffee hits you very quickly. And so this is helpful with not spiking your cortisol. Green tea gives you a slower release plus L-theanine support. Eventually, I was able to add small amounts of coffee back into the rasa. So I would mix a full cup of rasa plus a full cup of coffee. Then I ended up with 16-ounce drink instead of an 8-ounce. This made the caffeine level in my coffee per drink. So it took me longer to drink it. It was slower. It wasn't so strong all at once. And so that's how I kind of added caffeine back in a little bit. That would have been more the end of my second trimester. The leg pain, the anxiety and the depression, the coffee aversion, none of it fully went away until after the baby. This is all connected to hormones, and it's all natural. Your hormones will do crazy things and express themselves in crazy ways, even if you've been there, done that 3 or 4 times before. Sometimes we just have to ride the wave and find new ways to cope, find new self-care rituals. If a pregnancy has disrupted your typical routines, especially your self-care, let me know what you're doing differently in the comments. It's honestly so frustrating when our bodies change our plans on us. This experience taught me something huge. You need backup plans, especially when it comes to self-care and nourishing your body during pregnancy. If you're dealing with extreme food or drink aversions and it's actually really difficult for you to eat or drink, please know you're not alone, and there are absolutely resources that can help you. During my second pregnancy, I was shown a liquid prenatal that absorbs super quick into your body, and it doesn't taste like medicine or vitamins. So you're not swallowing a pill. Doesn't make me nauseous. Typically the reason prenatals make women nauseous is the tablets and the types of iron used. I'm gonna make a whole video on this. I think it tastes fantastic. It tastes like a fruit cocktail. So I am very, very grateful. That is what my next video is going to be on, what I think is still the best prenatal after 4 pregnancies. I actually still take this prenatal to this day. I have been pregnant and or breastfeeding for 9 years straight. As soon as I would get pregnant with the next baby, I was just starting to wean the previous baby, and I'm still breastfeeding today. I'm gonna get into all the details. I will see you in that next video.